I'm Chris Athanasa. I'm a KMP developer. Today we're going to continue the series of how to program from the ground up. I'm going to do this is a follow-up to the last one because I forgot to do the code walkthrough. And tech support called, and yeah, they got the right part, and it's coming. They just ran out of delivery drivers. So they got to rehire. They just had some issue with their delivery drivers. So they're having to get that done. So that's good. At least that's going somewhere. So yeah, I forgot to go to the live code example. I did all this work and this code example to make it all clear for everybody. I didn't even go through it. All right, let's get into it. First, I want to say this is how I feel when I'm trying to talk about the problems with OOP with the COP. This represents Bjorn Strustrup and the faction that doesn't want to hear anything about what I'm talking about.
Robert Hoover will speak on behalf of Delta House.
I'm just trying to look for a better way to do things.
I don't think you can fully judge a fraternity without looking at the
Can't judge a programming paradigm.
positive qualities of the people in it.
Yeah, the positive
The
qualities.
Delta House has a long tradition of existence to its members and to the community at large.
I think we've heard enough, Mr. Chairman.
I was told I'd have a chance to...
That's enough.
Do I can't ask questions? No.
The court will now render a decision.
Well, look, you said I could speak.
He said that's it.
Are you deaf?
Let's finish
Easy. I'm just asking about statics are a good idea or not.
this damn thing.
Blowjob! I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I'm saying it's just I don't think it's fair.
I don't think it's fair.
I'll tell you what's fair, what's not.
Listen, Bjorn, really?
Tell those assholes to shut up.
Hey, shut up, you
So this is me right here. That
asshole!
this is how I'm trying to make my point here.
To listen to any more of this?
This guy right here.
Parliamentary procedure.
Point of parliamentary. Can I make a point of parliamentary? Could you calm down? So can we discuss this stuff? No. There might be a difference between what the thing you say is OOP and this other thing. No. Alan K. No. Can we talk about it?
Brown, they're serious this time. Take it easy. I'm in pre-law, man. Thought you're pre-med. What's the difference? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be brief.
How do you think he's up to?
The issue here is not whether we broke a few rules or took a few liberties with our female party guests.
Break a rule, programming rules, and well, ladies is another issue. But anyway,
We did. But you can't hold a whole fraternity responsible for the behavior of a few sick, perverted individuals.
Dick.
For if you
Wrong.
do, then shouldn't we blame the whole fraternity system?
The whole programming, software development system. Should we blame that?
And if the whole fraternity system is guilty,
Yeah, software development.
isn't this an indictment of our educational institutions in
Yes,
general?
how we learn about these things in general, Mr. Strustrup.
I put it to you, Greg.
Yes.
Isn't this
Yarn.
an indictment of our entire American society?
Yeah, you trying to bring us all down?
Well, you can do what you want to us, but we're not going to sit here
Yeah.
and listen to you badmouth the United States of America.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
We're trying to get problems fixed over here, yo. Make our lives easier. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm asking.
You're not walking out on this one, mister.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
You're finished.
to YouTube. Tell you guys.
Delta,
The beginners,
you
the
fight
first
this
guys at the
time,
start.
Buster. I'm calling your national
You don't have to go
office.
down that road.
I'm going to revoke your charter.
Well, we're not gonna use C++ anymore. Sorry.
And if you wise
Stop,
guys
John.
try one more thing,
We're
one
gonna do
more,
something else.
I'm going to kick you out of this college.
Out of software development? No. No, you can't kick us out of software development. That's not a thing. Anyway, let's get into it. So here's here's the class over here. So I've basically taken this UML diagram and I've just implemented it in code. So here's the class media. Here it is, and it's an open class. It's designed to be inherited from, and it's got a protected variable. What's protected mean? And all it means is anything that inherits from it can see that variable, but anything outside cannot see it. Like if I tried to print, like if I made an object of the media and I tried to actually get into its name, that won't compile. In fact, it gives a little red mark right there. It says I can't. It says you can't do that because it's protected. You can't access it because it's protected. These error messages have gotten so much better. Holy crow. Yeah, so it tells you exactly what you're doing wrong. Now you have to understand what's like how it's all set up. It's not going to tutor you through it, and I'm not going to either. But well, I'm going to do a little bit, but enough for you to go like, what the hell is all this crazy stuff? And here's a constructor, right? So it has a constructor and it accepts a string, and when it comes in here, it just names the string. And the ID helps, right? So when I click on this name here, it highlights this name is the same as this name, is the same as this name, is the same as this, and this means that object itself, as opposed to someplace else. Like there may be a parameter that gets passed in or something. So that's what that's for. So you point out this, and it says, oh, it means this one. It means that. It means that object right there. That's all it means. People get so confused with this keyword, and it's weird, isn't it? It does look strange, but all it means, and like IDE really does help you out. It's like it means, okay, that means that name, and that means that object. It's the same one there. It's the same one there. And the same one there. There. Isn't that? Oh, this makes it so convenient, like to learn what's going on, and then let's see here, and then it also has these little things like gutters, like okay, who has what is it called? Implementation. Yeah. So there's 3 implementations, right? So I got one that's the MP3 over here. I got one that's the video, and I got one that's the protected. They're all implementations of this class. So here's MP3, and there's the play. So it's overriding, right? And if you look at this little thing here, it's like, what do you mean overriding? It goes, oh, it's overriding that. So if something calls this, instead of calling this superclass, it's going to call this one when you're on the MP3. Now, if you're on the media, it's going to be that one. If you're in the video, it's going to be that one. If you're on the protected MP3, it's going to be that one. Now this one has an extra look. So this one has an extra function in there called authenticate, because there's 2 extra variables, right? We got the password and the is authenticated, whether it's authenticated or not. And there's the authenticated. Well, I should call this is authenticated. Is authenticated, because is means for boop and all these other things. It's just like, this is going to be a Boolean. Is it this or is it that? True or false? So this one is protected MP3. It extends from this MP3. It passes in the name when it gets here, and it passes it up to MP3. And then MP3, when it does its constructor, passes it up to media, which passes it in here, which actually uses this constructor because it says the name here. So the only thing that has that parameter is this one here, and boop, and that calls this constructor, which is the base one. Like that actually allocates the memory for the object. Ooh. And if there was some initialization here, you pass it in there. Ooh. That's all that's going on there. So here's creating a doc. Doc0 is creating an instance of this object. It's just allocating memory for it, for this structure. That's got it passes the name in here, right? And so it puts it in here, right? And when this is looking at the name here, it's actually pointing to this one. Now, in actuality, that object actually has its own copy of this variable inside here. That's how it's actually implemented. But as far as intellectually, the value that it's pointing at is always this one. So you know that this one's pointing at the same one. This one's pointing at the same one, right? I could go something like this. I could do like how let me see if I can do this. Var name string, and it's going to complain here. It's like, which one are you talking about? Is this? Oh wait. So this is like so it's like you can add the same named variable in there. You should not do that. It's going to make things super confusing, but it allows you to do that kind of stuff. But don't, just try and be careful with this. This is why this inherited stuff is crazy. You got to be careful of all the other stuff that's up here when you're extending. Now, if it's only 3 deep or 2 deep, or it's fine. But you start doing 5 deep, 6 deep, 12 deep, No. All right. So here it is. So we got a function. So this is all set up here. This is all the setup, right? Declaring all these things. And then here it starts to play. So you know what? When they talk about testing code, ooh, testing code, testing. We're testing its methods. This is all we're doing here. Like this is just basically all here is like test code. I only know what the outcome is because I put the little notes here. Now there's other ways to do it, so it's all built into the code. It's like should be this, should be that, should be this. You check the output. So that's all it's doing. So here's this function. It takes in a media type, which is any one of these things that extends media, right? So any of these things that extends media is a media type. Now this one doesn't show right here because it's in between. So MP3, it extends the MP3, right? So MP3, then MP3 goes to media. But this thing will tell you all of them that have the interface that are descended. You know, they're doing subclass from this. So play with this code and mess with it. So it's really makes it understandable when you can see something, an actual. This is the kind of code you would see. This is the code you would see. It's not a made up weird example. So you create the name of the objects, and you know that's this name here. You're just giving it a name, and it may add and then you go down. It comes down here. So I already went through that line. Okay, here it is. So this creates a protected thing because you have to have it actually be a protected type. So when you do doc, when you do this call here, it's gonna know that this protected 3 type is actually got this method on here. That's how it knows. If it's just generic, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to see it. So if I change this back to method, media. Sorry, media. My words all messed up. Media. So then it goes, what are you talking about? There's nothing on a media type. So it has to be the protected MP3. And it grays it out here because in Kotlin, it makes it optional. It'll actually know, oh, you're using a protected MP3. That's that type. Oh, I'll just assign it to this to be that type. And you see, it's a protected MP3. That's where it's telling you. It already knows what it is. But to be pedantic and clear, I do that. And here's the bonus if you're going to wait this long to come to the end. So here's how you can create, just example did, the media type here. And if you try to actually call as a media type, it's not going to work, right? But you can cast it. You can say, doc3, use it. If it can be one of these things, use it as one of these things. Try to use it in this particular call here. This is bad practice. This is bad OOP. This is standard COP, though. Standard COP. This all the time. But in Boop, which we'll get into in a little bit later, this is bad form. And honestly, if you ask your question, why are you doing this way? Why are you doing this? This is counterproductive. Good for like system level stuff, but applications like what are you doing here? So you gotta have a really good reason for that. So I meant to point that out of thinking about typecasting. Ooh, it's typecast. Ooh, you're casting a type. You're making it one type to another. You're casting it. There's always a magical language in it from the creators of this stuff, because we're all Dungeons and Dragons nerds like me. All right. All right, we already went through that. Problems arising from abuse. We already went through that, actually, at the end of the last one. I didn't think we did. Okay, so we're going to get into abstract classes next. And, thanks for watching. Give me a like and subscribe, and we'll get into some more of this nuttiness next time.